It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, couples are afraid of arguments, but can they actually be necessary at times in order to work out the kinks that might start building up in your relationship muscles? Now, there are, however, some arguments like, you never wash the dishes, or where are you always going, or I feel like I'm doing all the work in this relationship, that always keep coming up, even especially when you think you have moved past them.
So our question today, does your relationship struggle with a recurring argument? How do you figure out why it keeps coming up? And what is the process involved in finally putting that issue to bed? Our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the building to answer your burning questions and comments. So please feel free to give us a call on 021-4309-881.
Yes.
And we will certainly engage with you. Good to see you, Dr. Eve. How are you?
Good. How are you, Kat?
Very, very well.
Very well, thank
Yeah,
you. Mondays
excited.
are my favorite days.
It's all about relationships.
It's all about relationships. Let's talk about
arguing.
I know, hey?
Everyone hates arguing. Should we hate arguing? Is always sometimes is there a good in arguing?
It's such an intimate conversation, potentially, Kat, between two people. But people don't like to feel uncomfortable in themselves and in their relationship, and so they avoid this potential of unbelievable intimacy between two people. They're just more concerned around the conflict and how they're going to feel in the environment, and so they don't go into talking about it. The problem is that there are these what's called recurring problems.
Yeah.
Now, what we talk about in therapy is more problems that are solvable and problems that are perpetual. And that's what we're going to be talking about. And I really invite our viewers to consider what are the problems that perpetually recur in your relationship. You know, the ones that just keep going round and round and you feel we never resolve them. Why are we still talking about these same issues over and over again?
Yeah. I feel like talking about a toilet seat that doesn't get put down and not taking out the trash, that's one thing. But sometimes, one time somebody actually said to me, women become historical and hysterical. Like, we bring up things that happened 10 years ago into an art and hysterical.
That's kind of cool.
I just think, like, is it possible to solve an argument and let it go, or is it going to be something that keeps on coming up in a relationship?
So, interestingly, some research has been done around this, and they say, and this research is by John Gottman, and he says that 69% of problems in a relationship are never solved. Those are what he calls the perpetual problems. So, I mean, that's a lot of problems that is just never, ever solved. And what we talk about is the problems that are solvable. What are the problems that are solvable? These are problems which are just around real incidences, like housework.
Yes.
Those things can be sorted out, like how often do we see in-laws, our relationship with in-laws, how do we discipline children? So those are solvable problems. The place where people get stuck is when it comes to these perpetual problems which are caused by personality factors. So, for example, that would be punctuality, where people just have a different timing and causes enormous distress and conflict in a relationship. So we want to hear from our viewers what are the problems that perpetually recur for you, maybe even around money matters, maybe around sexuality. We want to hear that.
And how you let us know is by giving us a call on 021-430-9881. Let us know if you have struggles with those perpetually occurring problems in your relationship. In the meantime, while you think about it and give us a call, here's a question for you. Have you been tested for diabetes? Have you?
Yes,
have you?
I have.
You have.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, if not, then perhaps Bridget McNulty can convince you to do so today. Zoe is in the lounge with her.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We're back again with Dr. Eve, our relationship expert on this Monday, and we're asking about the recurring problems in your relationship and what they might indicate to, and perhaps how to solve them. Ian is on the line right now, calling us from KZN, and Ian has some advice on how not to keep score in a relationship. Ian, go ahead.
Hi there, man. Good morning to you guys. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, my wife is in retail, and I'm a stay-at-home dad. I've been a stay-at-home dad since my son turned 9 months. And our argument was who's working harder, my wife who works at work, and that she works 12 days on, 2 days off, or me being a stay-at-home dad. And we both sat down one day and thought, now, hang on, this is keeping a score. Who works harder? We both equally work hard. My work begins when my son wakes up, and eventually I get a break when he goes to sleep because he's nearly 3. But my wife gets up at 5:30 and finishes work at 4. So our argument was, hey, who's working harder, you or me?
Yeah.
We realized, hey, no, let's not keep score because we're both working very hard. Yes, there are different types of working hard. And instead of tearing each other down, let's say, babes, thanks for working those long hours at the shop. I really appreciate it. Your wholesale retail is very hard work. I appreciate that. And she says, babes, I know the little guys are really tough. He's in there 2, 3 learning stuff. He's driving you nuts in the flats. I appreciate the hard work you're doing and actually trying to raise them. Thank you. I won't keep score, but thank you.
Wow.
Keeping score will actually tear each other down because you're looking for things of trying to say, you do less than this and you're doing less than that. No. Look for how each other is benefiting each other.
Wow.
Don't work against each other.
Yeah.
Work to complement each other.
Ian, thank you very much for sharing. I wonder if
thank you,
Ian has a
Ian.
point there. That I mean,
Sure.
that's one aspect of his life that he was talking about in his marriage. But do you think that these problems reoccur because we subconsciously keep score?
I think these problems reoccur because of what's called the affect, the emotion around us. If we take Ian as an example, they're both exhausted.
Yeah.
And what's happening is that they're being irrational in their discussion around what the real issues are. The real issues is that we're tired and we just want to pull each other closer. We just want to be kinder to each other. And so the way that he's doing it is great, because what we have to learn from these perpetual problems, these 69% problems that are always there, we have to accept that they're going to always be there. This is a solvable problem that he's experiencing. Now, the most important thing is, how do we manage problems? How do we manage perpetual and solvable problems? And he's got the solution to it, which is a great one. It's about sitting down, soothing yourself and saying, actually, I'm being a little irrational. I'm just really exhausted right now. And what I need to do is to start up with a soft startup, like he's saying, I really love you. I really appreciate the work that you're doing. We're both working really hard over here. And then to begin a conversation by listening. What is really irritating you? Well, I'm just really tired and I really feel neglected, or I really feel like I want space for myself. And you'll get to the underlying problem of what really is happening, rather than dealing with the so-called problem of who is keeping score, who is working harder. That's just nonsense. One needs to look at, what are your dreams, what are your visions, what are you not really meeting in terms of emotional needs.
We're going to take a quick break, but I want to talk about unsolvable problems. The problem of, you don't make me feel wanted, you don't make me feel loved, you don't do enough for me emotionally. I mean, those are things that you come into a relationship with, and it's now expected of you as the new partner to fix. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I like that one.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to you Monday morning. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3 with our relationship expert, Dr. Eve. We're discussing recurring problems in relationships. And of course, you can call us on 021 430 9881.
Exactly, and I wanted to know about the recurring issue of someone constantly needing emotional affirmation. Like, you don't make me feel this, you don't make me feel that, you don't give me what I need emotionally, and never giving the person the same thing as well. Is that a recurring problem, coming into a relationship with an emotional need, or kind of like an insecurity, and expecting your partner to fix that?
Yeah, what immediately comes up for me is what's called attachment theory. So here is somebody who sounds like they're really anxious in the way that they attach to a partner. And you're right, they would come into a relationship being very needy, being very jealous, very possessive, and having a high expectation that my partner's going to be the one to always take care of me, or to be able to initiate things. So the recurring problem there, the conflict that's going to occur around there, is around he says, she says. Where she's saying, I want more, you need to, you need to, you need to. And he's saying, what about me, what about me? So they get caught in what's called gridlock. And once you get caught in gridlock, people get frozen. And that's when the problem never, ever gets solved. Because what should really happen is he should listen better to her and say, you know what, I'm hearing that you're really struggling in this relationship. I'm hearing that your expectations are very different to what mine are. Let's talk about expectations, because that's the core issue. We don't want to get hooked into the effect around it.
True.
We've got a call on the line right
Yes.
now. Jess from Cape Town. Good morning, Jess. You can go right ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show. My husband and I have been married for 5 years, and whenever we have an argument, he doesn't really know how to talk, open up, doesn't know how to listen. Well, not listen, but he just doesn't know how to respond to anything, so I do feel kind of alone. He understands it and he knows. He has said to me before, I just don't know what to say to you, or he doesn't know how to actually have emotions and feelings. He's lovely, but just struggling with how to talk to him, even if little things are lying around the house. Same thing will happen, and I just feel like I'm being very naggy all the time. But he doesn't seem to get it. I just don't know how to get through to him.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing
Thank
with
you,
us,
Jess.
ladies.
Yeah, that
Dr.
would
Eve.
be a perpetual problem.
Yeah.
Of the one person being emotionally disconnected or emotionally unable. And you can hear her frustration, which is
Yeah.
building up. So what's going to happen to Jess in her relationship is those four horsemen. We've spoken about it before, Kat.
Yes, we
the
have in the
four
past.
horsemen that come galloping in. So the first one is criticism, where she's starting to criticize him. And then she's going to go into contempt, which is the second horseman who gallops in. We're like, you lazy, you never do anything around the house. And then what happens is stonewalling. She's going to begin to shut down towards him. And then the last horseman is called defensiveness,
Sure.
where she's just going to be completely defensive, and then eventually she's going to emotionally disengage from this relationship. So it's good that now, 5 years into the relationship, she's getting that this is a perpetual problem that she needs to solve. And the way that she needs to solve it is through communication. I'm so sorry, but that's always going to be the solution, is through dialogue.
Yeah.
By saying to him, I am feeling so, like she was saying to us, lonely in this relationship. Not, why don't you do the dishes? You never do anything. That, no one listens to that. But it's, I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling worried. I'm feeling sad. And
But how do
maybe
you-
in that
how-
way they can connect.
Like with Jess right now, how do you deal with somebody who is emotionally, if that's a thing, like you try
that's
and
a
get it out of them, they go
perpetual
whoop.
Sure.
And maybe let's just quickly think about
Yeah.
that, and we'll be
Let's
back
do
again with
that.
Dr. Eve
The stool
shortly.
stapler.
The stool stapler, is that
Yes.
what the term is?
Yeah.
021-430-9881. Give us a call.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So getting back to the question to Dr. Eve
Yes.
about how you deal with somebody who emotionally shuts down, like Jess's husband that she mentioned,
Right.
when you bring up an argument or something and they emotionally shut down. How do you deal with that?
Oh, you've got to self-soothe yourself first. That's the first thing you do, is got to take a deep breath, because you know this behavior by now. You can't chase them. What's called, somebody's going to exit, you're going to pursue. Exit, pursue. You have to stand still, and you've got to take a deep breath, and then you've got to get this person back in through fondness and admiration, and say to this person, you know, I really appreciate these things that you do. I really appreciate even that this is a difficult conversation for you. I'm not going to be fighting. I need you to just listen to me and hear how upsetting this is for me when you never take out the trash, or hear when you don't, and you just listen when I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this upsets me. So it's about the effect. I come back to the emotion around it. If you're going to be screaming and shouting, no one can hear, or you don't move out of it. And the point is what you were saying earlier, Kat, you know, when does one stop it? When do you start to stop this conflict, this volcanic eruption from happening? When you begin to feel in your body, the somatic experience, as it's called, you feel yourself getting tight, you feel the anxiety rising up, you feel your blood pressure escalating, that's when you know, I've got to just take a breath, and I've got to be able to just speak quietly to this person. That's more likely than he won't walk away, then he won't or she won't shut down, because he won't feel that he or she has been attacked.
Should one consider bringing in a third party when the two of you just cannot reach a resolution amongst yourselves? Bring in somebody just to help you, you know, kind of get past that point, because I never want people to get to the point where they just emotionally shut down
Exactly.
and now they're done with the situation.
Yeah, that's when therapy is really useful. That's why couples come into therapy, because they find themselves stuck in these gridlock situations. You know, there's nothing worse than having what's called a gridlock perpetual problem, where you just feel you're never going to break in, where the cycle just goes round and round, the conversation just keeps turning. So go into therapy around that.
We've got a call on the line right now. Rosie from Pietermaritzburg. Good morning, Rosie. Go right ahead.
Hi, good day. I'm living with a wonderful husband that does get the stool stapler when he gets upset or angry about something. My best way to deal with that is do not try to solve the argument in that moment.
Yeah.
Wait for the person to calm down, even if it takes a day, go for a drive or a walk or something. And when the situation is calmed down, because stool stapler is like a boiling pot waiting to explode. So you wait for the situation to calm down, offer him coffee, sit him down later when it's calmed down, and then say to him, love, can we talk about it? This is what's bothering me. And then more than likely he's more than willing to actually talk to you about it and sort out the problem. Stool stapler, you never open that pot because it boils out like bubbles.
Wow.
Thank you so much for that.
That's the way to deal with it. Still is dangerous at the moment, so at any situation. So still stopper is basically wait for the situation to calm down so that a boiling pot can actually go away.
That sounds like some great advice.
That's
it
really
sounds
great.
also-
It's
but
like a
listen
powder
to-
cake just waiting to explode there.
Yeah, but what's great is that Rosie's keeping so calm.
Yes.
So that's what the solution. She's begun to accept. She knows over all the years. She accepts this is the way he is, and she has learned to manage it.
Yeah.
And what people do incorrectly is that they don't accept. They want the partner to change, which is why the cycle just goes round and round and round. And she's learned how to manage the situation so very beautifully, so that she doesn't get hurt.
That's
she
powerful.
soothes herself, soothes him,
Yeah.
and they're able to
Because
have
so
a
many people just want to
conversation.
keep going, keep
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
keep going,
yeah.
and then boom, it's
It all just explodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much
Nice,
to
thank
all of
you,
our
Rosie.
callers
Yes.
for sharing your stories with us and asking your questions, and we really appreciate it. We hope that this was enlightening and, in fact, empowering to your relationship. And as always, Dr. Eve will do it next week. Thanks, babe.